their perception of dating brown guys, and one of them said that, or she was scared that she had a perception that they would be forced to go back to his country and get married there and raise the kids there and stuff like that, and she wouldn't be allowed to leave. And I said that that's the plot of the movie Not Without My Daughter, starring Sally Field and Alfred Molina.
Podcast. I'm
Yeah.
just pulling your
No,
leg.
no,
Thank
no.
you.
Or
Nabil is going to kick me off the podcast right now.
no. Or the other alternative would be that you thought it was cringy, but because you're actually not a good person to work with.
Yeah, I'm like, just wait, work with me for 5 minutes first, and let's see.
I'll ruin your opinion of all Pakistanis in the next
Yeah.
5 minutes.
But just hello. The other day I was standing at Tim Hortons and I could feel somebody breathing down my neck. And when I turned around, was one of those pesky immigrants. And I call them pesky. I can because I'm an immigrant too. But that
But are you a
experience,
pesky immigrant?
I'm a pesky immigrant too.
You're a pesky
You'll
one.
find out example during the podcast about this.
You're, yeah.
So welcome to Cambrian Explosion. We're going to be talking about culture shock and cringy things. Have you ever had that experience? Have you ever had an immigrant stand too close to you because they come from a country which is high amount of population and you've just gotten used to the space available over here? Yawar, what are your experiences with people who are immigrating over here?
Well, I have a funny story, but I think you were almost about to say Cambrian implosion, but you just corrected yourself at the last second there. But so that was good. But yeah, so I have a funny story about this as well. I mean, a few different funny stories. There's the usual like, oh, your English is so good kind of thing. That's, I think, a rite of passage that everybody goes through, which I always found funny because I basically grew up speaking, reading, writing English. I read English literature and wrote essays, took exams, all kinds of things
I
in
think
English.
people
So
assume that they don't teach us
yeah,
English if we're coming from a third world country. It's I had a saying,
which
yeah.
fair. I mean, there are many actually. There are different kinds of education in these countries. Some of the schools are English medium, other schools are in other languages. So in Bangladesh, you would have most students would be going to Bangla medium schools, so they would learn Bengali, and their English would not be really that great. So they would slowly learn English, more and more English, and get comfortable with it over time. But they wouldn't start out with great English.
Yeah, I think it
But
also depends on whether you could afford better education in those
yeah,
countries.
private schooling, right?
Yeah.
I mean, many kids of our generation and similar, I guess, backgrounds were able to afford English medium schooling, right? So I'm sure that it's the same way in Pakistan. There must be different kinds of schools. Public schools must be mostly in Urdu, right?
Well,
Yeah, they
it's the
were in
same.
Urdu and English. Yeah.
I think the even better example is in India has excellent English education.
Well,
When you
English is a national language of India, right? One of the
Yes,
national.
it's also for Pakistan, by the way, but our education system
Fun
isn't as
fact.
good. So yeah,
Oh,
fun
interesting. I
fact.
didn't know about that. Yeah, that was
It's
just for
it's
India.
a it's the official language for one of the official languages for communication with Urdu. So it is heavily taught, but India's quality of education for English is actually better. They have a very high intake of people picking up English.
Hmm.
Having said that, their accent isn't that great. So
Hmm.
people often confuse knowing English with having a great accent,
Hmm.
which is not the case. I mean, I know people here who are born here, who write and speak atrocious English, but their accent is great, so they get away with it.
Yeah. Which and this reminds me of a funny thing I read online some time ago. Somebody made fun of somebody else's English, and this person replied that you speak English because it's the only language you know.
Mm.
I speak English because it's the only language you know. There's a difference between us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a really good response.
And I actually found this joke on a video I was watching yesterday. If you're an immigrant or you're from a third world country, you might know 2 to 3 languages,
Yeah,
but if you only know English, then you're American.
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I think it extends to cooking as well. Like we tend to know like 15 dishes because we learn to make a pizza or a burger too, but we learn the home
Mm,
dishes. But
mm.
if you're an American, you know American dishes.
So at work, this was fairly recent, a few months ago, perhaps. This person, a South Asian person, contacted me on Slack, and he has a name which I couldn't really place. It could be anywhere from the subcontinent, and so I was trying to figure out what he wanted, and then so we started chatting. We started up a call and we started chatting, and he was talking in Urdu, and he asked me, "Hey, so where are you from?" And said that, well, I'm from Bangladesh originally. And I said, "Oh, you're from Bangladesh. I thought you were from Pakistan. That's why I was speaking Urdu."
Hmm.
And I told him, yeah, I thought you were from Pakistan as well. That's why I was also speaking Urdu.
And you guys were both from Bangladesh.
Well, it turned out that he's from India.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Well, do you know some Urdu, Yawar, or were you just pretending to understand his messages?
Well, I just know a little bit of basics, so I can kind of
Okay.
like fool you for like maybe 10 seconds, but after that,
Oh,
maybe
try and
not
fool
much
us for
more.
10 seconds so we can make fun of you.
Uh, मैं थोड़ा थोड़ा जानती हूँ or is it जानता हूँ? I always get confused with the
Janta
gender.
hu,
Janta.
janta hu.
जानता हूँ.
Oh, this is such
The
a
gender is confusing. See, the thing is that in Bangla, there is no gender, right?
yeah,
Even if you say he or she, there's no he or she pronouns. There's only O, which is like a neutral pronoun for, you're referring to somebody in the third
yeah.
person.
I'm
Oh,
sure
that's
someone is workshopping that to stay with the times.
Mm,
well, I think that's actually in some ways more in the times because the times are, gender
mm,
fluidity. So having
Yep.
mm,
a word which encompasses is all the
mm,
genders actually works in my opinion.
mm.
It's more
Yeah.
in time,
I
you
always
know.
felt that Bangla was kind of ahead of the curve in that sense because nowadays you're having the culture wars in English, which pronoun wars are a huge part of it. But in Bangla, you neatly sidestep that whole issue because you don't have gendered pronouns.
Ah,
Okay.
very,
Oh,
very
but
interesting.
speaking of work, one of the things which I've always found strange with, and this is in almost every workplace I've worked with, someone will always say something very cringy like, oh, you're Pakistani. I've worked with Pakistanis before. They're great people.
Oh, that's yeah.
Well,
All people are great.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like there's an adjustment period, right? Like maybe people don't always know what to say to each other from different, people from different backgrounds and
No, but they say it so
immigrants and
proudly, like, oh,
okay,
you were Pakistani and I
yeah,
worked
yeah,
with them before, so you must be a great person to work with. It's like, I mean, I'm
yeah,
sure I
yeah, I
am a
get
great
it,
person to work with, but it's just such an assumption
I get
that
it, I get it.
You are a great person to work with. Otherwise, why would you be on our podcast? I'm
Yeah,
just pulling
or
your leg.
not, or
thank
no,
you.
no, or
Nabil was gonna
or
kick me off the podcast right now.
no, no, no. Or the other alternative would be that you thought it was cringy, but because you're actually not a good person to work with.
Yeah, I'm like, just wait, work with me for 5 minutes first, and let's
I'll
see where.
I'll ruin your opinion of all Pakistanis in the next
Yeah.
5 minutes.
But just extending that thought a little further, I also find it particularly because I wear glasses and I'm brown.
Mhm.
The 90% of the time people will go, "Oh, you work in IT." No, I
Mm,
don't work in IT and don't assume that because I look a particular way. I mean, uh, I wear glasses, I'm wearing a very colorful hat, I'm wearing glasses. I don't know how what I'm looking like
yeah.
right now says IT to people. I think
Yeah,
it's just
honestly, I don't get
because
it. Yeah, you either look like a rock musician or like a really rich tech billionaire.
Yeah,
I'll
or
take
I would
either.
just say turn it
Yeah,
on and off again, and if it works, I'll be like, yep, yeah, I work in IT.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's a great reference. Oh, that's the
It's
IT crowd.
so
Oh,
Yeah,
meta, so
yeah,
meta.
yeah.
that is
That that
so meta.
that I love that show. There was a episode where they pretended the internet was a box.
Oh,
That
that
Mm.
was one of my favorite episodes when the
I
internet broke.
yeah.
I've actually never watched IT Crowd. I've just seen like maybe snippets here and there, but I've never
See,
watched.
Mavish, now that's a reason to fire somebody, not
Mm.
work ethic. That's a
Okay.
genuine reason to fire somebody. You
And
haven't
it's
seen the
ironic
IT crowd?
because I'm the like actual like IT guy, right?
Yes, it's very
Yes,
ironic.
that's no, but he's a software engineer. Like that's completely different. You should be offended by that. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah,
You should be
true, true.
offended by by what you said about yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm offended. Okay, I'm offended. Yeah,
Yeah. See,
yeah,
we can make fun of ourselves. That's
yeah.
okay. But when other people join us in making fun of us,
Right.
that's not good.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Wait a second. Did I just call myself tech support? That's offensive. I'm offended at that. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
So,
But yeah, speaking of like work and stuff like that, there's like I was saying, right? There's a definitely an adjustment period as new people come into work and like they adjust to each other's culture and actually, we adjusted to and we do continue to adjust to Western work culture and stuff like that. There are definitely differences. For example, people from our different countries are always kind of shocked to see the work culture in the West. For example, one big thing you notice is that everybody addresses everybody by the first name. So like it doesn't matter which level you are. So if you talk to your CEO one day in the elevator or wherever in the lobby, then you will call each other by your first name, no matter what's the age difference or what is the difference in your salary level. Very different culture. You're not used to that.
yeah,
Like,
I think in Pakistan, a lot of people say sir and ma'am a lot.
yeah, exactly, sir.
The first and all those names are different. My dad works in Riyadh, and it's interesting their culture. So if you have a son, they call you by the
Mm,
son's name. So they say Abu Zain, in this case, my brother's name.
mm,
So if you have a son, that's how they refer to you. They don't even refer to you by your name. They refer to you
mm.
by that in a workplace setting. So it's actually very different, I think, all around the world.
Like, like your dad is called in his office. He's called the dad of Zain.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
oh, okay, wow, okay, cool, cool,
Yeah, Abu,
interesting.
if, for those watching, means dad.
Mm,
I don't remember what it is if you don't have any sons, but that's
mm.
the cultural appropriateness there for that.
Abu Nan.
I mean, so Yawer, this is your homework. Go try that in office
Mm,
on Monday. Go tell your
yeah.
boss, hey,
Uh,
your new name is Abu John or something like that,
uh,
and see how that flies.
that would definitely earn me a very puzzled stare, and
And a
the
promotion. I'm betting a promotion.
I'm betting we would quickly forget about it and pretend that it never happened.
Crickets.
It
But that is
it
the
would
most
it would result in crickets, which would be and not the kind of cricket that you like, Nabeel.
Yeah. Did I mention that
uncomfortable
that's
silence.
yeah, uncomfortable silence. Did I mention that's one of my personal cringy thing that I do is
Mhm.
somebody will be from Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Australia, South Africa, England, all of these cricket playing countries,
West Indies, yeah,
yeah,
Jamaica.
West Indies. And my first reaction will be, let's talk about cricket because I love talking about cricket. Uh,
Mm,
and I forget that not all people here from these countries
yeah,
are into cricket. Like a lot of people have just given up on that on that sport. They follow
even
sports which are
Canadians, yeah,
yeah.
even in
Wait,
Canada, cricket has been a sport.
yeah, but they're
Uh,
trying in Canada. Like I went to a cricket match that was a few weeks
Yeah.
ago. It was really bad. True Pakistani Desi fashion. It was supposed to start at 12:30. It didn't start until 2:30. It was
oh
Mm.
no,
windy.
no, I don't mean like South Asian immigrants playing cricket in Canada. I mean like that like there's these like very posh private schools in Canada where back in the old days they used to actually play cricket.
Oh, I did not
Oh,
know that.
okay.
So it was kind of like modeled after the British private schools, So they kind
Ah,
of copied a lot of those kind of Britishisms.
Yeah, well, a lot of schools in Pakistan and in these places, like cricket is like you have to
Mm,
play cricket in these schools.
yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and they and
Especially
they
boarding schools.
yeah, 100%.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have to have that passion for it. I mean, I grew up with it. It's crazy. But people
Mm.
assume that you play. or know of cricket if you're an immigrant.
Yeah, what I'm
Yeah.
trying to tell you is one of those people who assumes is me.
Yes.
Which is one of the cringy things that I do personally. I know that I find it cringy, but it's also, you're in the moment, you're excited about something, and you want to find out. Sometimes you do find good people to talk to about cricket, sometimes you don't. But uh,
This reminds me of, have you guys seen The Big Sick from Johnny?
I remember the
That
name,
sounds so familiar.
but
Yeah.
tell
Yeah,
us.
yeah. So Kamel Nanjiani, you guys know who that is, right?
The
The
Pakistani guy from
Pakistani
Karachi who wrote that.
Pakistani American actor.
Yeah, he had one really, really. Was it The Big Sick that was his big
Yeah,
first film? Oh, okay, then I've seen it.
yeah, yeah. So that was basically like kind of like an autobiographical film, right? So how he met his wife, Emily.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the scenes in that movie is he's doing a stand-up comedy monologue, and he's giving a in the stand-up routine, he's actually giving like a fully fledged PowerPoint presentation on cricket, and he's talking about cricket, and he's giving a stand-up routine on that topic. So when you mentioned that that was your cringe thing, Nabil, that reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, immigrants relate to that, but in our previous podcast, where we talked about reverse immigration, we mentioned that there's sometimes when you try to replicate the immigrant perception of things in movies just to make money, again, that's also a cringe on its own because I don't know,
Yeah, yeah.
he doesn't give me the typical Pakistani vibe when he acts.
Which
Unfortunately, like it's forced. It's a little forced sometimes.
which is what so my parents saw The Big Sick as well. They
Mhm.
my father had an interesting comment.
Mhm.
Just give me a second.
Oops. Looks like we lost
Oh,
Nabil there for a second.
oh, we lost Nabil for a second. We'll stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
Nabil's comment was so funny that he had to leave the conversation for a minute
Yeah, 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 yeah.
to psych himself back up.
He
Uh,
got he got a little too excited.
well, one of the other things we were going to chat about was dating in immigrant culture or versus white culture. I think Yawer,
Oh,
you were mentioning something about the office as well.
well, it's funny. It's a funny story. I used to work in this office, and I used to work with these ladies, a little bit older white ladies, kind of like nearly middle age kind of thing. And it was fun. It was a fun office, and I enjoyed working with all those people. And from time to time, we would go out for these kinds of like team lunches and whatnot. And one of these times, I was in the car with a few of them, and we were driving to a restaurant, and they were talking about dating brown guys. And one of them said that, well, I think she was afraid or she was scared that she had a perception that dating a brown guy would she would have they would be forced to go back to his country and get married there and raise the kids there and stuff like that, and she wouldn't be allowed to leave. And I said that that's the plot of the movie Not Without My Daughter, starring Sally Field and Alfred Molina. And that's uh, completely Hollywood. You're just quoting a Hollywood plotline.
I know, so they're
So,
taking Hollywood plot lines and creating more misconceptions about immigrants.
I mean, could it happen in real life? Sure, but there also it could happen that many people from the West got happily married and settled down in Asian countries, including in South Asia. I've personally seen examples of this white lady. She got married and settled down in a village in Bangladesh with her husband, and I guess, as far as I know, they
Yeah.
live
But
happily
for
ever
those
after.
people watching, that's not common. Like
Yeah,
people,
yeah, for
immigrants,
sure.
yeah, immigrants come here and get married to various different cultures, and it's not.
Sure.
I think the new age couples are not
Mhm,
like critical on it or taboo on it, but parents are still sort
mhm.
of adjusting to that. sort of normalcy now.
Yeah, yeah, parents are. There's this funny story I was told by like this was kind of in my family that a friend of my cousin is he's gay and he was trying to come out to his parents and so he's a brown kid and so he said that I have some news for you guys and it's about who I'm seeing and you know but as it turned out, after he told them, the only thing they cared about that was that he must date a brown boy, and as long as he dated a brown boy, they were okay with it.
Oh, that's so funny. They
Yeah, yeah.
actually have ads now. I don't know if you can
Mhm,
corroborate this, but I've seen some ads when I was in Pakistan. There were Indian ads
mhm, mhm,
where they show a family sort of welcoming somebody who came out who was gay.
mhm, mhm,
And the grandmother is like super happy, and
mhm,
it would be similar to if there was a white lady that he was bringing, a white woman he was bringing home.
yeah,
So
yeah,
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 it's definitely becoming it's becoming more accepted there. So who knows where that leads. But I have to say
yeah.
that it's not what people think it is. Like people think that you're very limited if you're a certain culture or something. Versus it's not really, it's more just about I think over time just getting your parents to be a little more
Yeah, there are positive and negative stereotypes. So, I mean, for example, Koreans must be super tired of everybody asking them, the Korean Idol, K-pop all the time, right? Like wherever I imagine wherever they go, if people must be asking them, "Hey, do you like K-pop?" And what are they supposed to say, right? Like, "No, I don't like K-pop. I'm Korean, but I
yeah,
don't like it." So
yeah.
it's kind of like there's cringe, there's cringy things, but it's kind of funny. I guess you have to, at the end of the day, like you have to kind of just laugh at it and roll with it.
Yeah, I mean, you could talk about this for a long time, but
Mhm.
similarly, like for example, my husband, he doesn't drink tea, he doesn't drink chai, and
Oh, really?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, he doesn't like hot drinks.
Definitely as very very minority very minority in Pakistan. I think he might be very not very eager to share that view when he's in Pakistan about
Honestly,
not
I
liking tea.
he's a salesperson. He
Yeah,
doesn't care, and I think that's how what it should
yeah,
be really. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
we care too much about what other people think of us,
Mm,
whether we're
mm,
immigrants or not. And I think sometimes you just have to do what you want and how you
mm.
are, right? And it's the same thing. Like for example, I don't like eating too much biryani, but biryani is like a staple in Pakistan. So I'm very
It
particular
is
about it.
for sure, but you still have to be. Yeah, I think you're probably right there because it's very rich, so you have to be careful.
Yeah.
That's actually one of the things, like, you know, touching slightly on this topic, but like South Asians, when we come here, we often have like this bit of we misunderstand the food situation in the West, and we kind of like start eating unhealthily because we are not used to these kinds of foods, right? Like there's first of all, there's a lot more bigger servings, and there's a lot of easily available sugar all over the place,
Yeah, but I think
carbs,
that's part of the culture
and
shock actually when immigrants come here. There's a
yeah,
very big health culture here
yeah,
that I think in third world countries it is starting to come up, but that is a big culture shock too, that you don't have to put a ton of oil in all your food. In fact, you can eat very healthy and have very delicious,
N-
nutritious meals. And
No, to me it's the opposite. Like in the countries where South Asian countries, you get to eat a lot more natural food, right? Like food that is prepared in more traditional ways. But here in these countries in the West, you eat a lot more processed foods, right? Like for example,
yeah,
you eat burgers. Burger patties are like these extremely processed foods, which are filled with various chemicals and stuff like that, and then you just have to fry them and have them, right? So the
yeah.
convenience factor is there, but it's also like you are having a lot more processed food.
Yeah, no, I
Anyway,
agree
that's
on
a
that.
whole different topic. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked
But
about that
it's an
actually, and
interesting one.
I'll link that
We
in
have
our
talked about it. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, it's in our episode.
Yeah.
Have you met my air fryer?
The air fryer. Yeah,
I
exactly.
think it's that one. If it's not, I'm gonna link the actual one there.
We'll
We
find it.
did we'll find it. We will link it for you. But just
Yes.
to say that there's a bunch of culture shock and a bunch of cringy things that people say about immigrants, and we went over quite a few today. But we'll keep at it. And if you guys like this sort of style and this funny
Mhm.
but yet serious conversation, let us know. Don't forget to
Absolutely.
comment, like, and subscribe. I think we lost Nabil in the middle of this conversation. He isn't able to log back in, but
I think we were standing too close to the bill and he had to give some space, take some
yeah.
space.
So stay tuned
Stand by.
for
We
that.
have some interesting episodes coming up for you guys.
Yeah. So thanks for listening and stay tuned for better listens.
Thank you.